Rabbi Nachman, he once said that seeing what a person has to go through in this world, all types of suffering and difficulties, the only way, most of the time, he said, most of the time, to get in a happy mode is by literally acting silly. The Hebrew wording is to do mile dishtuta, to do acts of silliness, and also mile dibdichuta, and to make jokes. Yes, to act silly and to make jokes. He said that this, seeing what people have to go through in life, to get them in a happy mood, this is what's needed. In other words, the standard mode of being happy by finding my good points and thinking positive not always works, because sometimes a person is really getting hit big time in life, and the onslaught of negative thoughts and difficulties and feelings of depression and dejection and futility attack of such vengeance, such hatred to a person, which obviously is all the doing of Haman Amalek, the evil side. And we must maintain a good-hearted feeling and to do our best to be positive as much as possible. And for this, Rabbi Nachman said, you must even, and the wording also is, and especially, resort to literally acting silly, making jokes, be in a light mood. And you might think, but this is not proper for the way of the Torah to be lightheaded and to joke around. But again, seeing what we are going through, especially now before the coming of Mashiach, people are faced with such difficulties that yes, being in a light mood to joy them up, to lighten them up with a hearty mood, a good positive mood, is needed and is the key to eventually come to genuine simcha. Because you also might think, but it's not real. Once the joke is over, the person goes back to his Tisha B'Av morning attitude. So what did it help for the joke? And Rabbi Nachman teaches that getting positive and getting a smile on your face, even for a second, it endures. Even if afterwards it happens to you what happens to you and you go through what you go through, what was gained by making you in a positive frame of mind, by making your smiling muscles stretch and cause the healthy chemical reaction generated by smiling and joking and being happy, even if afterwards things don't continue that way, that is very beneficial, very positive for a person in the long run. In other words, it did help. You may not see the immediate results, but in a cumulative format and in the long-term format, this has for sure definitely helped the person. We find even in the history of the Breslov movement that you had very serious devotees of Hashem who would get up at midnight and have long, strong study schedules and spend hours meditating and totally absorbed in the world to come. Yet they would accept to take time every day to act happy, to act joyous, and not to feel beneath their dignity, to even dance a little. Like we mentioned, it is a Breslov custom by most Breslov centers in the world, probably all of them, that after the morning prayer service and the evening prayer service, everybody joins hands and dances. That dancing, when people from outside see it, it looks a bit silly. Something you're not used to seeing such a thing. So most people from outside, they look at it as silly, and may even look at it beneath their dignity to join hands with people who they feel are beneath their level to dance with them. Yet in Breslov, it's something beautiful to see how everyone, elder people, young people, educated, non-educated, they join hands and they sing a melody and a tune. Sometimes, like when it's before Purim now, dancing gets more happy. People start jumping up and down also and doing all types of like Hasidic dancing motions, all that to induce the joy and the smile on the face. The Gemara mentions that there were two merrymakers, two badchanim, hanitre badchane, these two merrymakers. They made other people happy. They merited to the world to come simply because they made other people happy. Even and especially through a joke, making a joke, acting silly, if it helped to make the other person smile and happy, it was worth it. Number one, you have no idea what the other person is going through. And sometimes just getting that person to smile, putting a smile on their face, can literally save their day, save their life even. So this is in line with what the Gemara says, that they merited the world to come. Because how many people were in such a depressed, very futile and sad and hopeless mode, and somebody comes along and makes them smile, even out of a joke, they literally saved their lives. To finish this off, there was a Breslover Chassid of the previous generations. His name was Reb Ben Zion Apter. He was a Polish Breslover, survivor of the Holocaust. The man went through a lot. He lost his entire family, his wife, his son, who was an outstanding Torah scholar, Rav Pinchas Arbistman, a student of Rav Elchanan Wasserman, one of the main disciples of the Chafetz Chaim. He was killed together with his Rosh Yeshiva. This man, he lost his family, tzaddikim. And this man, his whole life was spent around making people laugh. Two stories about him which illustrate the joy and his ability to know no bounds to being joyous and making other people happy. This Rav Ben Zion Apter, he developed a very strong connection of all the leading, or most of the leading Hasidic Rebbes here in Israel after World War II, and even in Poland before World War II. So the story is told that once he was by the Tish, a table, the Hasidic gathering, by one of the Ger Rebbes who lived about 50 years ago here in Eretz Yisrael. And this Rav Ben Zion Apter got on the table and started dancing in front of the Rebbe. He got on the table and he started dancing in front of everybody. So the Ger Rebbe, he said to Rav Ben Zion, "No, enough dancing. I want to hear a Dvar Torah. I want to hear from you some words of Torah." So Rav Ben Zion said to him, "Why does the Gemara illustrate its point by saying those two merrymakers, two Bat Chanim, they merited the world to come? It would have been enough to say one. Just say the point. There was a merrymaker. Why does the Gemara go out of its way to tell us two merrymakers? Okay, that was the story, but what's the significance for us of the number two?" So he said that a true happy person is someone who can make the other person happy and himself happy. That's the idea, the illustration of the number two, that I can make the other guy happy and myself happy. Because it's known, unfortunately, many comedians, they themselves are very depressed. It's something known, I guess, in the world. I've heard it many times, that people who are stand-up comedians and everything, they have a very sad and depressed life because it's not real joy. A real happy person is someone who's happy when they're all alone, and also they can make other people happy. And another story, we'll sign off with this, that this Rav Ben Zion Apter was once at a wedding, and when he went to weddings, he would make everybody happy. He had a very beautiful voice, similar to a violin, and he would imitate a violin noise with his mouth. Once he was at a wedding, and the Prime Minister then of Israel, Ben Gurion, was at the wedding. He was secular, he wasn't religious. It happened to be a Jewish wedding, I guess a family member, and this Ben Zion Apter came to make happy, make merry. Ben Gurion was so impressed with this Ben Zion Apter, he came up to him after he finished all of his, what's called in Yiddish, his shtick, he's making people happy, and he said to him, "How could I help you? I want to do something for you. What can I do for you?" So Ben Zion Apter said, my fake teeth are already expired. In other words, I need to get new dentures. If that would be greatly appreciated if you can help me to get new dentures. So Ben Gurion, he gave Ben Zion Apter his dentist number. I'm going to call him. You call him in another few days, and you tell him I'm the one that Ben Gurion said he'll take care of the bills for my dentures. And he did that. Ben Gurion, he called the dentist and he said, "It's on me that demands dentures." And from that point on, whenever this Ben Zion Apter would go to a wedding to make people happy, at the end he would pull out his dentures and tell everybody, "These are from Ben Gurion," to show this man's joy to make people happy and to make people laugh.